Hi everyone, glad to see you here. My name is Soy and I'm a UX designer at Google. Today I want to talk a little bit about how to evaluate a UX presentation and share my 4 secret tips on how to create a stellar portfolio presentation. If you are new to my channel, welcome. On my channel, I am dedicated to all things about UX design interviews and product design. So if you like this content, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I am also offering one-on-one career coaching, so if you want to get more interview advice, do a mock interview, or just talk about career development in general, please check out the link down below in the description and sign up for a session. Let's first talk about how to evaluate a portfolio presentation. Portfolio presentations are the norms for any design positions, so it is the most important UX interview. I have done so many interviews in the past, and a portfolio presentation is always required in every interview I have. Different companies have different requirements on how long they would like you to present your work. Usually a portfolio presentation is around 45 minutes. Companies would ask you to go over 1 to 2 of your projects in order to understand the breadth and depth of your skill set. A portfolio presentation shows employers your thought process through design problems and how well you communicate to others. A custom portfolio presentation also helps establishes context for your interviewers before they head into your other interviews. You get assessed based on your skill set. They would evaluate your background in design, your design thinking, and your collaboration process, etc. Craftsmanship. How do you make a thing as nice as it can be? And how do you advocate for design excellence? Ability to present. They want to learn more about your communication and storytelling skills, and they expect to see a very easy to follow structure in your presentation. And now I'm going to share 4 tips on how to create a good portfolio presentation. Your in-person portfolio should be different from your online portfolio, which the interviewers have already seen, because you want to make the most out of this in-person opportunity to show your work off. The online portfolio usually contains longer form case studies, which have a lot of details. Without presenting your work in person, it makes a lot of sense to share more context and details to help the audiences understand your project better. But a in-person portfolio is different in a way that the content is lighter and also it requires better storytelling. A deck helps you to guide the conversation rather than going through a less structured website and enables you to focus your attention much more strongly on specific elements, points, and screens. In the past, I have created presentations using Google Slides and Keynote, but these days I'm using Figma to create a deck because I just found that I got a lot more creative when using Figma to create presentation deck. And since I'm already using Figma in my day-to-day, so I found it super easy to use when creating slides. The other good thing about using Figma for a presentation is that it's super interactive. You can easily use Figma to create animated slides and share your interactive prototype. Also, if you use Figma for work, your latest design would automatically sync with the presentation and you don't need to upload or export your design assets. While presentation polish isn't exactly something we pay a lot of attention to, it is actually quite important. What I learned from my past interview was that interviewers evaluate not just what they hear from your presentation, but also what they see in your presentation. Focusing on the craft of both your portfolio and your presentation is going to help you stand out in a UX job interview. So I think it's very necessary to emphasize the importance of presentation polish. In today's video, I will mainly talk about how to polish a presentation, and in the future, I'll make a few more videos to talk about how to polish your design case studies. Polish your presentation materials as if you are polishing a real design project. Consistency is the fundamental design principles for every design project, so it also applies to a design presentation. Font, background design, layout, animation should all remain consistent, and also check to see if the positioning of titles and logos appear on every slide is consistent. Do not use more than 2 to 3 fonts. Use an alternative font only if it's a quote or a annotation, etc. If you could go with one font, that would be ideal. A different font would instantly give recruiters and interviewers the impression that you are not paying enough attention to details and you are not a good designer. 3 to 4 font sizes should cover all you need in a presentation. Check whether or not the font sizes is consistent in title and body text, etc. Also check whether or not you are using the uppercase and lowercase in a very consistent way. Double your white space. Give your design some white space to breathe. White space is always one of the most overlooked elements that make up a great presentation layout. Humans are visual learners. Visuals are an effective way of gaining attention and conveying a message effectively. For visuals, besides using static images, I recommend GIFs. GIFs are pretty fun to look at. And also these days, there are a lot of interviews that are virtual. A video file sometimes can be too big to play smoothly in an online presentation. Keep each slide concise and just highlight one key idea on one slide. Use font sizes, font colors, capitalizations, and visuals to emphasize the idea and to provide hierarchy. Present in a structure that is easy to follow. One simple tip on that is you could start with a brief outline of what you're going to cover today. And remember, please don't go into too much details when you're presenting the outline because you will cover those details in your design case studies. Just share a quick outline of what projects you're going to present today should be enough. To create a better storytelling narratives, when transitioning from one section to another, I would not say things like, okay, so this is the user journey, and next I'm going to talk about the user task flow. Although it might sound very clear of what I'm going to present next, but the transition was actually not very smooth, and it does not sound very engaging to the audience. So what I usually do is add keywords to slides as reference to help audiences understand where we are in the presentation. Most importantly, you will need to craft a cohesive, compelling narrative that communicates how the previous section in your presentation is connected to the next section. So that your audience can follow you along the way, I will post another video to talk about how to work on storytellings and presentation narratives. The portfolio presentation is not a solo show. In a lot of presentations, there are designers and cross-functional team members. To pass the interview, your goal is to effectively promote yourself and to really engage everybody in the room. I have a few tips for you. Don't be the solo speaker in a room. Add interactive sessions like Q&A. For example, I used to work on a very popular social media product. So when I was presenting the project of it, I started my presentation by asking audiences, have you used this social media in the past? Of course, you can think of better questions that work for your presentation. The point is that the more you engage your audiences, the better. Just keep it conversational. You want to get their attention. When presenting a deck, to better engage your audiences, don't spend too much time, like no more than 3 minutes on one slide, because your audience might zoom out after staring at the same slide for too long. So just create the slides you need. Don't be too concerned with the total number of slides, as long as you are telling a very clear and comprehensive story. Storytelling is at the heart of an outstanding UX portfolio presentation. To make an impactful presentation, turn it into a story. Conflicts is fundamental to any good story. In literature and film, conflict is a clash between two opposing forces that creates the narrative thread for a story, and conflicts are what makes novels and movies exciting. If nothing changes, nothing happens. In portfolio presentation, conflicts is not the same as user problem or problem statement. Audiences are very interested to learn more about what are the obstacles you encounter when working on projects and how did you resolve them. Nobody is able to put on a perfect show without going through difficulties. So to make the story believable and engaging, it is important to admit or even embrace the bumps in the road. Explaining how you solve these problems during product development helps your audience to understand how you think and inspires genuine curiosity in your audiences, who will then ask more questions. This is what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumb up if you think this is helpful. Good luck with your portfolio presentation. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.